Yo, what's good everyone? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. As you can tell by the title, we are back again with yet another review. And in today's review, we are going to be taking a look at an absolute classic straight from the vault, releasing for the very first time since its initial release 25 years ago. But before we actually dive into the review itself, as always, just a couple of things to rattle off. Huge welcome back to all of my returning subscribers, but if you are new around here, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you can be notified every single time I drop a video just like this. If you do go on to enjoy our video as well, please feel free to give us a massive thumbs up, which is always truly appreciated. And if you do want to reach out to me outside of YouTube, you will be able to find me on Instagram under ACS Sneakers. And now that's all the formalities out of the way, if we now just go ahead and get straight into the video. So to kick off this review, just like we always do, let's just take a quick look at the shoebox. Now before we do that, as I mentioned to you guys in the intro, this shoe is releasing for the very first time since its initial release 25 years ago. Now 25 years ago, I would have been about 10 months old, so definitely weren't around buying shoes and definitely can't relate to the nostalgic factors that I'm going to talk about throughout the video. Now, I've done a lot of research about this shoe. I've watched a lot of reviews on it to get myself acquainted with it and really help me understand a lot of the kind of like nostalgic details about this shoe. But if I do get anything wrong, do feel free to correct me in the comment section below. Start up a discussion if I am wrong about any of the details. But according to what I've read online and based on the reviews I've seen, apparently the box that we get for this release is the exact same as its initial release, which I personally thought was a really nice touch. Now, the details on the box are actually quite nice as well. So across the front, we do have that black Nike swoosh. On the back portion of the box, we do have engineered and built to the exact specifications of championship athletes from around the world. Now, on a lot of Jordan releases, we do get something very similar to that where it reads, engineered and built to the exact specifications of Michael Jordan or the world's best athlete or something to that effect. So this is a little bit different, which I thought was a really interesting touch. Now, on this side of the box, we do have the size label, and the size label reads Air Jordan 11 Retro Low IE, and that's in the black true red multi-colorway, and this is a UK size 9 as it is a personal pair. Hopefully that's actually focusing for you. Now, on the inside of the box itself, we do have that traditional black, tissue paper or bin liner paper or trash paper, whatever you want to call it. And then underneath that, we have the kicks. So now let's go ahead and get straight into the review. So without any further ado, in hand, we have the Air Jordan 11 Low IE in its original form. Now, we're not going to be mucking about in this review. I've already felt like I've talked far too much without actually talking about the shoe. But one other final thing that I did want to mention before we got stuck into the review, Michael Jordan actually did wear this in game. So this is a real shoe that Michael Jordan actually did wear. Not everybody that's going to watch this video is actually going to care about that, and some people just like the look of certain Jordans and don't just go for the OGs or the game-worn shoes. But the fact that Michael Jordan actually wore these, and you can see him online in pictures and on highlight reels actually wearing this shoe, it definitely added a lot to it, enough for it to actually make me want to pick it up in the first place. But hopefully by the time you've seen all of this review, if you do stick around to the end, I'm going to give you the best possible looks at this shoe to hopefully help you guys decide if maybe this is actually a shoe you want for your own personal collection as well.
Okay, that's fine.
Now, the uppers for the most part have been constructed using this pretty decent all black glossy leather material, and this has then been paired alongside this black nubuck overlay. Now, within the nubuck itself, we do have some small cutouts as well, which do feature some pretty standard all black mesh materials, and this pretty much makes up 90% of the upper of the shoe itself. Now, in terms of how I feel about the actual quality of materials that they've used, to be honest, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I've got absolutely no complaints. The leather feels pretty nice overall, feels like it's a pretty thick cut of leather. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure if it's genuine leather or if it's synthetic. It could even be a blend of the two. But overall, absolutely no complaints with the leather. The nubuck itself feels pretty decent overall. Has that two-tone variation to it where if you brush your finger one way, it goes a little bit lighter. Brush it the other way, it goes a little bit darker. So if you're into that, that's also a really nice touch. And then as I was saying about the mesh material, to be honest, it's just that run-of-the-mill regular mesh material that you've probably seen on a bunch of different shoes in the past. So that's another thing that I've got absolutely no complaints with. In general, the quality control of the upper of the shoe as well was absolutely fine. I was a little bit surprised to see like there's a little bit of a groove here, a little bit of a dent going in. I'm not exactly sure if that's like a factory flaw, if that's been a flaw in actually sending the shoe out to me. Not really a massive issue, not something I'm really that concerned about, but in general, like I say, absolutely no complaints. And then as we do work our way into the center of the shoe, we do have these pretty standard all black rope shoelaces. Now the laces themselves have actually been weaved in between the actual leather on the upper, so there's no eye stays, there's no separate pieces of material. It's just actually fed through the actual side walls that we see on either side. Then the laces themselves do sit atop a black mesh tongue underneath, and then as we do work our way up to the very top of the tongue, we have more really nice tumbled leather on the top of the tongue, and this has been paired alongside that red embroidered Jumpman. But as we then work our way inside the shoe, we do actually have a really nice pop of colour, actually breaking up the majority of the shoe. As you can see around the ankle collar, as well as on the sock liner, as well as on the back of the tongue, we have this really nice red colour. Now, as far as the padding is concerned, it is a low top shoe, so there's not going to be too much ankle padding or anything like that. But in general, it's pretty nicely padded. It feels absolutely fine on feet in terms of like how the actual padding and cushioning feels around the sock liner. And then as we do work our way inside the shoe, we do actually have a polyurethane insole for that extra comfort. And this is done in this primarily black colour with that red Jumpman branding. As we then work our way down the shoe itself, we do have this white polyurethane midsole. And then as we switch over to the outsole of the shoe itself, we have one of the most beautiful outsoles of any shoe I've actually seen this year. Now, on the outsole, we have this really nice semi-translucent smoky outsole. We have these rubber herringbone traction pods at the forefoot and heel. And then just underneath this, we do have a full-length carbon fibre shank plate done in this really nice red and black colour.
Nice.
Now, in terms of like the overall sizing for the shoe itself, this shoe kind of left me a little bit stumped, to be completely honest. Now, I only have one other pair of 11s in my collection currently, which is the Jordan 11 Jubilee that I picked up last year. Now that shoe, like this one, I went true to size with a size 9, and I do believe that that shoe fits me true to size. I've got absolutely no issues with it. Whereas with this one, I feel like the shoe is just a little bit longer than the Jubilee, and that kind of feels a little bit weird on feet. Like, it feels like there's a little bit too much space around the toe. Like, I feel like my toe's coming up a little bit short, so my foot's moving around a little bit more than I personally would have liked. So with that in mind, I'm not sure if everybody's going to have the same experience as me. Generally, I have wider feet than a lot of people, I believe, and that normally plays a role and a factor in the sizing for me. So there are certain shoes that are perhaps more narrow that I have to go maybe a half size up or a full size up with. But with this one, with it being longer rather than any issues with the width, I genuinely believe I could get away with going a half size down. I probably wouldn't go a full size down, to be completely honest. But I feel like if I want that more natural feeling, more natural fit overall, going a half size down probably would have been the much better outcome for me. But fortunately enough for us here in the UK, this shoe is actually sitting at pretty much every single retailer, from JD, Foot Locker, Nike. Everywhere seems to have stock of this shoe. So before you actually run out and actually buy the shoe, if you were considering it, I'd highly recommend just heading down to a local retailer. If they have them in stock, try it out before buying, and that will obviously be the best outcome for you. But now we've got all of that out of the way, if we now just go ahead and wrap up this video. So just to sum up, in terms of my overall opinion on the shoe itself, to give these a rating, I'm going to say a pretty respectable 7 out of 10. Now, going into buying this shoe, to be completely honest, I wasn't a big fan of it. We did actually review a IE last year. I think it was a black cement colorway. Back then, I didn't really get it. Even now, I still don't fully appreciate the shoe like a lot of OG heads will, or like a lot of people that are just interested in this specific style of shoe. For me, I feel like it looks a little bit weird on my feet, I'm going to be honest. I've tried them out, I've walked around in them, tried a few different outfits on to see if I can make it work. To be honest, I just don't think it will be a shoe for me. So I actually think that this shoe may end up being a return and not actually sticking around my collection. It is disappointing because just from the nostalgic standpoint, the fact that Michael Jordan wore this shoe, it's coming out for the first time in 25 years, and all those kind of factors would lead to this being a really great shoe for a collector's piece, or for a person who's actually collecting all OGs and none of the new colorways. But for somebody like me that buys shoes to actually wear them and not just collect them to look at them, I feel like this is probably, there's better options out there. There are better places for my money to be. So in general, I do believe that I will be actually returning this pair. That might change after this video comes out, and I may actually decide to actually keep them, but only really time will tell with that. I'd love to get your guys' opinion on it as well, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I always love to hear from you guys. I always try and actually respond to each one of your guys' comments, so do make sure to leave me a comment in the comment section below. And if you have stuck around to this point in the video, I do want to say a massive thank you. If you haven't already, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. And I hope to see you all again in the next one.